At their first Winston Cup win.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, one of the most famous words in motorsport, please welcome back Jim Dwyer.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
Of 75,000 fans in this sold-out stadium. The starting lineup in green flag next. Field rolling off onto the racetrack. Check out the starting lineup for you for today's Tropicana 400. Tony Stewart, Jeff Gordon, sharing row number 1 in a pair of Chevrolets. A couple of Dodgers in row 2. Bill Elliott, former Winston Cup champion, and the rookie Casey Mears. And while we look through the rest of the starting lineup, Jimmy Johnson's lined up in row 3. He's going to have to drop to the tail of the field because they changed an engine. Wally, you want to try and ring him up?
Let's give him a try. Hey, Jimmy Johnson, this is Wally up at the NBC booth. Can you hear me?
Yep, gotcha.
Well, with all the bad luck you guys have had, you probably didn't want to get out of the motorhome this morning.
Yeah, we've had our share of bad luck, but that's just the way this year's been, and we'll just give what we can. This is racing. You guys know that anything that can happen will happen. But I'm just lucky to have a group of great guys and Hendrick Motorsports behind me in Lowe's. And it doesn't matter. We know what we need to do. We're going to go out fun today and make it interesting from the back.
Watched your car yesterday in final practice, Jimmy. Even after you did the damage to the left front fender, your car looked awfully good. Can you keep this thing on the bottom all day?
Everybody's going to be at the bottom here at the beginning. Hopefully I can get a lane to move around on the top, but the bottom's probably going to be the preferred line, especially early in the run. Hopefully we'll get a second groove and have some fun.
Okay, good luck.
Thank you.
Jimmy Johnson scheduled to start 6th. Because of NASCAR's one engine per weekend rule, will have to drop to the back after they had a little mechanical trouble in Saturday morning practice. Also, Larry Boyd will give 31st starting position and drop to the rear of the field because of an engine change. There's Larry there in row 16. And Derek Cope, scheduled to start in the 25th position, will also go to the back. He had a final practice crash yesterday, and they had to pull out the backup car.
Robbie Gordon, the winner at Sears Point, back in row 18 alongside Benson, and Ricky Rudd talked to the Wood brothers this morning. Felt very good about their 21 car.
Those who got into the race on provisionals coming past you here. And the final starter in the field, Ken Schrader, who was a tad uncomfortable Friday during qualifying, hoping he was going to make the race. One driver failed to make the show, Jason Keller, in an effort for Chance 2 Racing, the team that Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Teresa Earnhardt own, not quite able to get into the field. You're starting in that outside lane. How concerned are you here going barreling off into turn 1?
I don't think you're as concerned as you would have been last year or the first year here, because obviously the groove that we talked about earlier is wider. There is traction up there. You're still going to be trying to get to the bottom of the racetrack, but I think it's safe up there.
And we see the analysis pit window. That is crucial. If you can run 66, 67 laps, that's okay. If you can only run 60 like some of the teams can, you've got a problem, because this race might be won on fuel mileage.
75,000 on their feet on beautifully sunny skies overhead. We're coming down to the start of the 3rd Tropicana 400 at Chicagoland.
Jeff Gordon made a run for that lead, but it did not work out, and he's losing spots. He's back to 5th. Challenger 5th.
How about Jeremy Mayfield? 3 wide into turn 3 on the bottom and picked up 2 spots at once. Tony Stewart leads lap 1. Bill Elliott 2nd. Jeremy Mayfield 3rd. Casey Mears 4th. Elliott Sadler 5th. Then Jeff Gordon in 6th, and side by side from 7th on back. Here's Gordon on Elliott Sadler for 5th.
With Kevin Harvick back in the 10th position as he tries to close in on Greg Biffle.
Jamie McMurray's been up there on the high line for his last couple laps. He seems to be hanging right there.
11 drivers who ran yesterday's NASCAR Busch Series race here and is also in the field for today's race. That's McMurray in the 42.
And he just took the spot on the high side.
Well, that's impressive. Nice track. Gordon on the outside. Oh, Martin slow in the 6 car.
Was 13th last lap by BP.
He's still running, not coming to pit lane.
And the car looks like it's up to speed. He might have slipped off turn 2.
19th now, lost 6 spots that lap.
Now, we talked about if you got out of the groove, there isn't a whole lot of traction up there, and it takes a little bit to get those tires cleaned back off if you do get in the marbles.
And get out of the gas early there to let Rusty by.
Yeah, evidently there's something that Mark doesn't like about that 6 car right now.
Now check back on Jimmy Johnson. Remember, we talked with him on the pace laps. Dropped to the end of the field after the engine change. He's made nice progress.
He's taken 25th spot right there if he can pull it off from Kurt Busch.
And you see the gap from Jimmy Johnson up to Tony Stewart. 19, almost 20 seconds behind in their relative positions on the racetrack. That's something a lot of guys were concerned about this morning with Tony Stewart having such a fast car in yesterday's practice. Was if we got a long green flag run at the start of the race, him putting an awful lot of people a lap down.
And that's going to happen because Tony Stewart is not that far in lapping cars. Christian Fittipaldi is now 30 seconds behind. In a couple of laps, he'll be lapped.
And so Jimmy Johnson's got to keep the whip out on that horse to keep from being caught from behind and put a lap down by Tony Stewart.
The thing is, too, don't forget, Jimmy Johnson's going through traffic, and Tony Stewart's had a clean racetrack the whole time. So Tony Stewart's going to have to pass all these guys that Jimmy Johnson just passed. So Jimmy can just maintain that pace he's going. I think he'll be all right.
Johnson's last lap was a 31.78, and the leader's was a 31.40. So he was about 3/10 off Tony Stewart's time in that traffic. Tony Stewart out in front. He's increased his advantage over Bill Elliott to 1.2 seconds. 22 of 267 laps complete in the Tropicana 400.
Tony Stewart out for a Sunday drive. Started from the pole looking for his second win of the season and lapping cars here early in the race. In the garage area this morning, they said he would be the man to beat. Right now, he's simply the man to catch. Outstanding run for Tony Stewart. Let's take you through the field. We're halfway on this fuel load. We'll start with the leader of the race, Tony Stewart, and Matt Yocum.
Tony Stewart living up to those pre-race expectations on a feverish pace as the car's a little bit free, but doesn't want to mess with it. He feels like the racetrack's coming to him. That quick pace is starting to lap cars. The one good thing, he lapped John Andretti, the team that's pitting right in front. He'll have an easy entry and easy exit, Marty.
Somewhere back there behind Tony Stewart is Bill Elliott, the 9 car in second place. A little free in, a little tight off. Bill has a spotter 10 feet away. Where is Tony beating me? He said he's beating you by his arc into the corner. A little more of that. We'll catch him. Well, Bill, Jamie McMurray moving forward in this field right now. They're telling him everybody's staying on the bottom, that his lap times are good, but Jamie has told his team that the car is tight now in the center and off the turn. So moving forward, but the car not totally to his liking. Marty. Bill, so far rookie Casey Mears is doing a good job. Started fourth in the 4th position right now. They told him on the radio the only car catching you is the 24 of Jeff Gordon. Keep doing what you're doing. A little loose to start the race with. He said the front end is sticking better now, but the rear end still just a little bit loose, Matt.
Jeff Gordon said back on lap 10 that he just couldn't get the back end of the race car in the racetrack. Way too free. The car now, though, is starting to tighten up, he said on lap 37, but I don't know if that will be enough to catch anybody, Bill.
Good run for Jeremy Mayfield. Started 5th, has fallen back a little bit in the last few laps because his car is starting to get a little bit tight. Jeremy Mayfield is optimistic about the second half of this season because he believes his team is finally hitting its stride. Bill, Kevin Harvick started 11th, as you saw, just past Jeremy Mayfield up into the 6th position right now. He didn't say a word until lap 38, just a few laps ago. He started the race a little bit loose. Now the car is just a little bit tight, but his times have fallen off about 3/10 during this run, Matt.
Ryan Newman started 14th, has climbed all the way up to 8th. He finished 2nd in yesterday's IROC race. Feels like a second group will come in. Right now, though, Tony says he's losing the nose of the race car, chattering the front tires a bit. If it stays green, they should pit around lap 65, Bill.
Groovy look once again this week for Elliott Sadler. Car not totally to his liking, though. Going to try and improve the handle on it a little bit when they come in, starting to get tight in the center of the turns. That's the story on the 38. Upstairs to Allen.
All right, Bill, 45 laps complete now, and the leader, Tony Stewart, got a 3.1 second gap on this race for second place.
Not much of a race. Jamie McMurray, the 42 car, caught Bill Elliott, and by him he goes down in turn 1.
Tony Stewart has led all of the laps so far. He has overtaken up to 30th place Ward Burton and put him a lap down. And Joe Nemechek's got troubles.
He's slow off turn 2.
I'm coming in. It's not getting any better. It's got a broken damn valve or something.
Broken.
You guys.
An engine problem in the 25 car.
Spark plug wires, but I smell oil in here.
That's not good.
No, it's not good at all.
So Nemechek to the attention of Peter Suspenzo and his crew at lap 46 with troubles on Rick Hendrick's 25.
That blue smoke is a terrible looking smoke.
Yeah, that doesn't look too good.
So there's the leader, Tony Stewart. 3.5 seconds to now second place Jamie McMurray. We've taken you through the top 10, through the top 9 actually, and we continue to go through the field. Matt, how about Dale Jr.?
Rounding out the top 10 is Dale Jr. running right where he finished last year in the 10th position. Jr. says the car is rolling over on the right front pretty good, but don't plan on adjusting it too much. He says the car is snug in the center as well, Bill.
Meet rookie Jamie McMurray, his new Haviland 42 car, and this, the 9,000 RPM, 800 horsepower
V8 monster that creates more torque than you can even imagine. So what brand of oil does Jamie trust to protect his engine? Haviland, of course, because Haviland can handle this much power.
even if your TV can't. Add more life to your car with Haviland.
Sorry.
Another fabulous encounter with Fuzz.
Yokohama, the art of performance.
Tony Stewart is continuing to lead the Tropicana 400 at Chicagoland Speedway. He has led every one of the 59 laps that have been completed so far. Getting to see some of the front runners trickle onto pit road now, mostly driving one brand of car.
The Dodges are thirsty right now.
It's unbelievable. We saw Bill Elliott make a pit stop in the 9 car just before the commercial break, and I think since then, every Dodge has been in the pits. Here's Jimmy Johnson, Dave.
A Chevrolet in the pits as well, BP. They knew they were not going to get good fuel mileage. I knew that this morning when I talked to Chad, the crew chief. 4-tire change for Jimmy Johnson. Tight through the center. They're going to make an air pressure adjustment to try to fix that.
And leader Tony Stewart on his way down to his pit stop for service. The 43 team stopped by to find out when Tony was going to pit so they would not be in his way on exit. Tony comes to a stop. Said the car was loose early, but then it started to tighten up. He definitely did not want to make any adjustments on the Home Depot Chevrolet. His little Mike Lingerfeld already hits the lugs on the left front. You can see the handoff on the gas cans, the new rule like we talked about at the Discover Countdown to Green. And Tony Stewart is down and away. Meanwhile, the 24 car, Jeff Gordon, on his way in. We told you that. See where he's already in? With hands up in the air. They made an air pressure adjustment. His car just not to his liking.
Kevin Harvick is now the leader. Robbie Gordon, Kyle Petty, Jack Sprague, Greg Biffle, Rusty Wallace also leaving pit road after just making stops. Talked about the Dodges coming in. We saw Bill Elliott stop at lap 52. 2 laps later, Jeremy Mayfield, Ward Burton, Casey Mears, all Dodges stopped. Then Jamie McMurray and Sterling Marlin and Jimmy Spencer came in at lap 56. Then we started to see a lot of the General Motors and Ford cars begin to sprinkle onto pit road.
And Matt Kenseth, the championship points leader on pit road, Dave.
And they're going to take rubber out of the left rear, Benny. That car is a little bit tight. That should loosen up a little bit. Car bobbling as he came in. Can't believe he was that close on fuel, but he might be. He keeps it fired. They fill it full of fuel. They're going to put 4 fresh fresh tires on there. They are going to give him sticker tires, and they told Matt that because they're just a little bit slicker. Marty?
Bobby Labonte's been a little frustrated on the radio, Matt. Most of these cars today are tight. They're getting tighter the longer they run, but Bobby has stayed loose this entire run. They make an air pressure adjustment. They also make a chassis adjustment on Bobby Labonte's car. It'll be 4 tires. They put 1 round down on the track bar. Long time on the left front for Bobby Labonte, Matt.
And Dale Earnhardt Jr. cuts off to his pit. He said he felt like he had a vibration. They came a lap to 2 laps earlier than expected. Junior's team making an air pressure adjustment in both front tires. Down 1 pound. The car was tight. Traffic, especially in traffic, not as bad by itself. And the 97 car and Junior will battle off pit road. 97 service complete.
Mark Martin is in, Ryan Newman is in, Jeff Burton, Elliott Sadler, Dale Jarrett on pit road along with Jeff Green. Kyle Petty coming at you left of screen is serving a drive-through penalty for speeding entering pit road on his stop. Bill?
4 tires, chassis adjustment for Elliott Sadler. His car's tight in the middle. He's on his way.
And now the leader, Kevin Harvick, is in. Hands the lead over to Michael Waltrip as the 2-time defending winner of the Tropicana 400 heads to his crew. Marty?
Yeah, Alan, undefeated here at Chicago for Kevin Harvick, but team still came here and tested. They want to win 3 in a row very badly. Kevin's pretty happy with the race car right now, just a little bit tight. What they did is took a ½ pound out of both front tires. That should loosen it up just a bit, especially getting into the corner. 4 tires for Harvick. He leaves pit road.
Steve Clark also getting service as Harvick drives by and rejoins the race. Now here comes the leader, Michael Waltrip, in, along with Ken Schrader, Kenny Wallace, and Todd Bodine. That's going to give the lead back to Tony Stewart as Waltrip stops. Bill?
Good long fuel run for Michael Waltrip on pit road after 65 laps. Remember, he was skating the front tires, so they're going to make a chassis adjustment. 4 tires and fuel, but keep the fuel mileage in mind. They hold the gas can, and then Michael's on his way.
Penalty for Bobby Labonte, leaving the pit box with equipment. Stop and go penalty.
What did he take? What did he take with him?
We'll find out. So Labonte rejoins. That's going to hurt, especially under the green flag. Yeah. Bobby is 4th in the championship entering this race, 255 points behind leader Matt Kenseth. So Tony Stewart leads. Jamie McMurray is 2nd. Bill Elliott is 3rd. Here is the race for 4th and 5th between Casey Mears in the green 41 and Kevin Harvick in the black and silver 29.
And Kevin Harvick, that 29 car, slowly marching towards the front.
It was on Bobby Labonte's car. It was a wedge adjustment wrench that went with him out of the box and fell off at the end of pit road. Can't take the equipment out of the box. So, first round of pit stops are over with. We're just past 100 miles in the Tropicana 400. Tony Stewart dominating the race so far.
We have a battle for the lead. I don't know if anybody's noticed but me, but Jamie McMurray, that 42 car, is running much faster than Tony Stewart, and there he is right behind him. Last time by, was a 1/4 of a second faster than Tony Stewart.
His was one of those names on that pole just a minute ago, wasn't it?
I noticed that, yeah.
Okay. Last lap by, McMurray ran a 31.50. Tony Stewart ran a 31.78. So Jamie closed it in a big hurry. McMurray's first NASCAR Winston Cup win, that memorable victory substituting for Sterling Marlin at the Lowe's Motor Speedway Charlotte last fall.
Matt, what's going on with Tony Stewart?
Well, he's got that 42 car starting to fill his mirror. In fact, he asked his spotter, Mark Robertson, he said, I can see the 42 is closing. What line is he running? Is he right on the bottom or is he up high? And Mark said, he is about 1.5 lanes higher than you are. He said, all right, I may have to keep that in mind. I may have to try to just jump up there and see how well that works for my car.
I'll have to wait and see that. Tony Stewart to move off the bottom of the racetrack?
Very unusual.
Not going to happen.
They spotted something couple of 100 yards past the start-finish line on the apron of the racetrack, and they were trying to figure out what it was, whether it was a danger or not to the race cars, and they decided to put the caution flag out and go pick it up and make sure.
Well, Tony Stewart in 20 and the 42 of McMurray certainly did not want to see this caution flag with a 7-second lead, and
that's what it is.
Man,
whatever it is.
Whatever it is, it could be just a piece of tape, but I agree with NASCAR. They had not much of a choice but to go out and pick it up and see what it is.
So first caution of the race, lap 82. We should see everybody on pit road here. Do we see people taking 2 tires? They were just in 20, 23 laps ago.
I bet you 48 car takes 2 tires.
I bet he does too, and tries to get that track position, get in front, because I think his car is probably as fast as these if he can get that track position.
Jimmie Johnson, I've been watching his times, and he is flying right now. So if he can get that track position, he could be tough.
Well, let's see. Johnson is running at 12th place right now, coming into the stops. Bill, you're up first.
And they talked about putting 2 tires on Jamie McMurray's car, but they're going to keep the balance and put 4 scuffed tires that were broken in yesterday. Scuffed tires. Now one tire rolls away. That's going to cost them time perhaps here on the pit stop. Car's just a little bit free. Marty. Bill Elliott on the bottom of your screen, a little bit too loose in. He said, guys, we went the wrong way on that last chassis adjustment. A pound in the right front tire for Bill. Matt?
A 2-tire change for Tony Stewart. An air pressure adjustment in the right front. He said the car was just too free at the beginning of the run, the first third of the run. Dave?
Points leader Matt Kenseth came on pit road, took 2 tires. They took a small spring rubber out of the right rear. The car had gone very, very loose on him. 2 tires only for Kenseth.
Jimmie Johnson did get just right side tires along with several others. We'll reset it for you when we come back to Chicagoland. Got a little race for the lead going on here.
Yes, we do. Looks like it. Kevin Harvick, that 29 car, is going to three-peat, win his 3rd straight race here at Chicagoland. He's going to have to reckon with Tony Stewart in the 20. There's a battle. Jimmie Johnson marching his way towards the front. That is the battle for the 6th position.
He may have to reckon with that 48 before the day's over, too, Kevin Harvick.
I believe he will.
And the 42 of Jamie McMurray. Burns, what's going on with 48?
Well, they made a track bar adjustment to try to fix a tied-off condition, and it appears to be working. It was a sub-7-second pit stop for 2 tires, and Jimmy radioed in just a couple of laps ago. I'm trying that high side, but I'm not sure what I've got quite yet. Matt?
Up in 4th, Dale Earnhardt Jr. is trying to reel in the leaders. It's been a work in progress. The first stop, air pressure adjustment. The second stop, wedge and air pressure. Jr. says the car's attitude is the way I like it. If I could just get up front like the 20 and 29, I can take off like those guys. I didn't realize track position would be so huge here today.
McMurray goes by Casey Mears, moves into the 7th position. That 42 of that Hamlin car is fast today.
McMurray qualified in 10th position, had moved up as high as 2nd earlier, got shuffled back when a tire rolled away on that last pit stop that they made back at lap 83. Bill, he's trying to make up some of the lost ground.
Certainly is, and very focused, Alan. If you know Jamie McMurray, he's kind of quiet on the radio, but that's a good sign. Has not said much since their last pit stop, trying to regain that lost position. If their radio's quiet, that's good. All he wants called out is the lap times. If he's talking, that's usually not a good sign about how the car's handling.
Up front, here goes Tony Stewart looking underneath Kevin Harvick.
And you're going to try him on the bottom. How about that?
Oh, that's a real shot. And again, we saw McMurray trying to make those passes making those passes on the outside. Oh, Tony is right there, and Harvey comes off the bottom a little bit. Is that enough for Tony Stewart? It just might be. He's there.
Looks like it. And back in the lead for Tony Stewart. Tony Stewart ran the fastest lap that he's run in the race so far at lap 99, just after that last restart.
Oh, man, right rear tire on the 4 car.
Tearing that thing apart. Caution for debris.
And we know where the debris came from.
3rd one of the race. Troubles for Johnny Sauter, making his NASCAR Winston Cup debut in Larry McClure's Kodak car this week.
It looked like they were struggling a little bit anyway.
And I tell you what, he was forcing to do that and not crash the car. Derek Cope did exactly the same thing yesterday. Shredded a right rear tire and destroyed his car.
During Winston Cup happy hour, yeah. See the NASCAR official there telling them they can't go back out on the pit road until they make some further repairs. They were probably going to try and send Johnny around and keep him. Yeah, they're going to go behind the wall. So how many of the leaders will we see pit here? The leaders stopped at lap 83.
I'd say
some of the cars stopped at 92.
Everybody's.
Oh, here they are. Look, Harvick.
Oh,
what a fake that was. Wow.
Nice. First is in Stewart. Third is in Ryan Newman. Fourth, Junior's in. Dave?
Sixth place, Jimmy Johnson. 4 tires, only 1 can of fuel, air pressure adjustment to fix a tight condition. Matt?
Now look for a 2-tire change on Stewart. No adjustments, just 2 tires and fuel. A little bit of trouble out in the front for Stewart. He's going to not beat the 42, possibly not the 38 off pit road. Junior's going to go for a 4-tire change.
And Jeff Gordon and Jamie McMurray get out ahead of Tony Stewart.
What's wrong with Junior's car? They're working on the nose of the car. Is it overheating or something?
Get into somebody or something?
Split or whatever. Come on.
That's bent underneath a little bit, isn't it?
I mean, it looks like it might be broken right behind that fellow's on his knees. Matt.
He ran over some of the debris from the floor car of Johnny Sauter and bent back the valence on the right front. The Bud guys are trying to beat it back out.
Kevin Harvick did not stop. He is the race leader of the Tropicana 400, trying to win this race for a 3rd year in a row. Can he do it again? Jack Sprague has just gone to the garage. No power. Clunk.
Tony, Robbie came right back on the 20 car. It's kind of
3 wide.
This is not good.
This is not good at all. Tony.
Clear high.
Don't want to be on the outside going into 1.
Especially 3 wide.
That was Robbie Gordon's radio. So Tony's going to get shuffled back about 4 spots.
Should be interesting to see when the 20 gets back to the 31.
Yeah,
what clean pass this is going to be.
They had 38 in that mix there, too. Also on the lead lap. Tony's back to 9th now after that little shuffle.
Whoa, another car.
That's Elliott Sadler.
That might have been Robbie Gordon. They got in the back of the 38 car. Looked like he had some help. Maybe wrong.
Things getting interesting here. So Sadler slips back. Check where he falls back in line. He was in 5th position. Now he's in 10th. '77 car there, Dave Blaney, 22nd place, 1 lap down.
This guy right here, I'm telling you, he's got 4 fresh. No, he doesn't have 4 fresh tires, does he? 48 take 4, Alan?
On the last stop?
Yeah.
Check my notes here. Hang on a second. Talk while I look.
Okay.
Anyway, he goes by Tony Stewart.
Anyway, he's fast.
Yeah, he's very fast, and Tony Stewart is behind him. Dave, what about the 48?
4 tires on that, and only 1 can of fuel. They got in and out, guys.
All right, so that, you know, my point was going to be he's got 4 fresh tires on it, and he got track position on the stop before, so he's in a good position right now. Marty, what happened on the 40 deal?
Well, let's show you the tire, and it's pretty obvious, Wally, when you do look at the tire that came off Sterling Marlin's car, the brake duct completely cut through this thing like a knife. Now the problem for Lee McCall and his bud, they have to make a decision because obviously it's happened with 2 tires now on Sterling's car. They're talking about it. Should they bring him down pit road and fix this? If it is definitively the brake duct, then they need to do that before something else happens.
Well, if it didn't get fixed before, it probably will happen again.
Bobby Gordon and Ryan Newman, 31 and 12, 5th and 6th positions here. You mentioned Jeff Green was on pit road a minute ago. They had thought they had a loose left side tire.
Oh, Kurt Busch has lost an engine up in 3 and 4.
He's been on 7 cylinders for quite a while.
He doesn't have any now.
Caution flags out.
And he's going to let Terry get his lap back.
Kevin Harvick, yeah. Remember we heard that on the radio a little while ago. So that puts 17th place Terry Labonte back on the lead lap and brings the caution flag out again at lap 128.
Okay, now Harvick's going to pit this time. How many other cars you think are going to pit?
It's been about 20 laps since those last stops. Ryan Newman is on pit road with 69 laps to go. Matty?
And Newman can go the distance from here. That's what Matt Borland's calculations tell him. They're going to make a track bar adjustment. Newman says it just has too much left drive coming off the corner. And the 8 of Dale Earnhardt Jr. trouble with the 43. Jr. had to come to a complete stop before he could make it into his pit stall. Jr. not happy with the way the car is sitting extremely tight. You can see the adjustments on the right side. To Marty.
Matt, the 29 of Kevin Harvick is on pit road. The pressure's on Brian Englehart, the Jack Man. He said, get it full. Very slight half-pound out of the right front tire. The car just a little bit loose. They can make it all the way.
And Ryan Newman just pitted with 69 laps to go. He has just run 70 laps on that last stop. So obviously he can make it.
So Jimmy Johnson is going to take over the lead after the set of pit stops by 2.5 seconds over Jeff Gordon.
Leader, you are the leader.
Rusty Wallace and Greg Biffle's teams are being penalized for an improper use of the 8th man over the wall. You're allowed 7 men to work on the car. The 8th man is allowed only to service the driver and the windshield. Apparently the 8th man on the 2 car and the 16 were spraying ether to get the cars refired after they ran dry, and they are being penalized by NASCAR.
We saw them do that on Greg Biffle's pit stop, spraying the ether in the carburetor, trying to get it restarted.
So Jimmy Johnson out in front, but can't make it to the finish on fuel, while a couple of other guys can. Looks just like Daytona last week.
Yeah, the good news is, Jimmy, you're leading the race, but we got some bad news. You got to stop for fuel. A couple of these other cars don't have to stop for fuel.
And other guys who just were reported that are able to make it to the finish, you've got Ryan Newman in 4th place. Kevin Harvick down in 12th place, and Dale Jr. in 11th. So Ryan Newman clearly the best off of them. Trouble, turn 2, Dale Earnhardt Jr. Into the wall, caution flags out. 2nd place man in the NASCAR Winston Cup Championship.
And Junior has been having trouble the last couple of laps during our commercial break down in 1 and 2. His car was very, very high, like something was wrong.
Big moment in the championship there for Dale Jr. Big moment in the race because the caution flag is going to bring some people like Jimmy Johnson a chance to get some fuel that they need to make the checkers. And that is going to be done for the day from the looks of that car.
Oh, no question. Let's see if we take a look at what happened here. See him going down into 1 right there. Car is bobbling a lot right there, BP. Gets back in the gas and just loses it.
All of a sudden the car just spins around.
But the car looked loose as he got down into 1.
Well, you know, they've been talking about this car being a handful all weekend. And now pit stops.
Right side scuffs for the 42 car and fuel, and he's on his way.
Jimmy Johnson's already come and gone.
They're going to make a wedge adjustment on the 24. And right side tire stick going on. 1 can of fuel.
Right side tires for Tony Stewart. Bill Elliott's getting fuel only. And it looks like fuel only for Elliott Sadler. I'll check with Dave, but I believe Jimmy Johnson just got a splash of gas. Dave?
Remember how fast he was without changing tires last time? That's the same thing they did again. This is the lap they needed to get to make it to the end. And they made a wedge adjustment as well in the right rear. He was a little bit tight.
And while all these guys were making pit stops, Rusty Wallace just drove his car in the garage area. There it is.
Transmission gone on the 2. Transmission.
Matt?
Ryan Newman stayed out, and then his crew, their hearts just sunk. He came on the radio and said, guys, I think we've got a tire going down the 99, pulled up alongside, looked at them, said, they look okay. The spotter, John Erickson, looked at him, so they're not going to pit.
Ryan Newman, Jeff Burton, Michael Waltrip did not pit under the caution.
All right, we see he's coming down 60 miles per hour. Watch as he accelerates. He shifts at about 9,000.
12-car Newman, the leader, looking for a way out of the traffic. 22 Ward Burton trying to stay in front of the leader. He's on the tail end of 1 lap down, back in 21st position. And the 1-car Jeff Green also back in 22nd spot. Now nearly 2 full laps behind Ryan Newman.
And Ryan Newman, the 12 car, cannot clear the 22 of Ward Burton. Finally, he does off turn 2. Jeff Burton is in 2nd spot, the Sitco car.
Important on the restart. Kevin Harvick got around Jimmy Johnson, took 4th position away.
I think Mike Waltrip just got by Jeff Burton on that move.
Yep, Mikey up to 2nd.
Harvick is in 3rd.
There's Johnson on the outside of Burton now. What's going on with Jeff Burton there, Mr. Weber?
Oh, Mr. Dallenbach, the car was
trouble.
real.
Turn 3, Bobby Labonte hard into the wall. Bottom of the racetrack to the top.
And Bobby Labonte has the window that down. He's trying to get out of that car.
It's so hard getting out with all that equipment on.
See Kyle Petty stopping to see if Bobby needs assistance.
And he doesn't. He's out of there. Man, oh man.
We've seen a lot of fire lately, haven't we?
That car just spun like a top. It's like there was oil or water or something up in turn 3.
So caution is out with 52 laps to go in the race. And let's see if we can go back and figure out what happened that caused this big mess in turn 3.
There you see the 18 car.
There's Mike Wallace. They're side by side.
I didn't see him there.
Okay, Benson drives into the 41. They look like they saved it.
Johnny's tires bent out.
The racetrack and he clips the 18 car.
Okay, that's why he spun so abruptly.
Yeah.
When Johnny made contact with the 41, it looked like it bent the suspension because you could see the tire in the 10 car just turn. Look at that hit. Oh, my goodness.
Seven car's got a bunch of damage also.
Here are the drivers that got at least a piece of that. Up in turns 3 and 4, obviously Wallace and Labonte with the biggest roles, along with Johnny Benson. But Elliott Park, Gordon, and Mears all getting nicked up in that latest crash.
Bobby was on fire and I was facing the other way, so shame for everybody behind us and everybody got involved in it, but looks like Bobby's okay, so we'll get him again.
We're glad you're all right, Bobby. You had a lot of fire in that car. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. We had a bad break there. We, had a pit thing happen where we had to come back in, lost the lap, and we got going pretty fast. And it looked like somebody got in the 10 car and he got down low and spun to the inside. And it's just one of those things there. Everybody's bunched up after a restart and came back and it looked like he clipped me in the left rear. I guess I don't know. It was pretty close. I thought I had it made. Backed in the fence, and then we got this problem with the fuel cell blowing up again, and that's always makes for a bad scene for everybody. And just want to tell everybody home I'm fine. It looked worse than what it was, and just a bad ending for our Interstate Battery Chevrolet that was pretty fast for a long time.
We're back to green, Bobby, but tell us your emotions as you pounded the ground.
I was just frustrated, the fire's one thing, but, frustrated we got out of the race. We had we battled back there, and, we came back to 13th there, racing under green, so just aggravating that it had to happen, and you hate to see, all the safety stuff in the car worked great. Man, I feel fine. Smell like a barbecue pit, but other than that, I feel okay.
All right, Alan, back to you.
I'm glad he can keep a sense of humor after a crash like that. Very glad both drivers okay. Then we've got us a great race shaping up now with 43 laps to go. The top four quickly cleared the lap traffic on the restart, and even back in traffic, they're shuffling spots up a great deal. Ryan Newman leads, Michael Waltrip second, Kevin Harvick third, Jimmy Johnson fourth. They cleared the traffic
for second.
There you go. So Happy is up to the runner-up spot. A little happier. He's a little happier.
Now we'll see. Can he catch Newman? I thought that Jimmy Johnson might be the fastest of these top three cars, but catching somebody and past him is going to be an entirely different situation. Tony Stewart, 30, 40 laps ago, was quicker than anybody, but Stewart is now back in sixth spot. I'm not sure he can fight his way back to the front in 40 laps or so.
This has been another one of those races, if you just joined us, where the different pit stop schedules and strategies have kept this thing tumbling back and forth and up and down all afternoon long. Kevin Harvick was out on track for some time, not having stopped. Then he got shuffled back in traffic. Then he didn't stop at 58 to go, along with Newman and Michael Waltrip. Now he's back up front in position to win. It's been all about track position today and making the right calls at the right time.
And being a little bit lucky.
Kevin Harvick, Jeff Gordon, Tony Stewart, and A.J. Foyt are the drivers that have won 2 straight races, first races at a NASCAR Winston Cup venue. Harvick would be the first if he can pull it off today. Great run for Michael Waltrip and company.
Terrific run for Mikey and Slugger Lab in that crew.
Started 12th today. Did not pit with 58 to go, along with Jeff Burton and Harvick and Ryan Newman. And Michael Waltrip 5th in the NASCAR Winston Cup Championship coming in. Having a very solid day, and look at, trouble, turn 1. Casey Mears into the wall. Caution is out with 34 to go. Casey Mears was running 14th.
And Johnson just barely beats Michael Waltrip back to the line to take over third spot.
There'll be 28 laps to go when the green flag waves here. We're within the final 50 miles. Ryan Newman leads. Kevin Harvick is second. Jimmy Johnson is third. Michael Waltrip now fourth. Tony Stewart fifth. 12 cars on the lead lap. The first one of those who stopped and took tires under this caution, Elliott Sadler in ninth.
Green flag, green. And Mark Martin on the bottom of the racetrack has been a pretty good car, but
Bobby Gordon jumped out in that high line. Going to pick up a spot or two.
And Matt Kenseth dives on the inside of Martin. Martin takes a spot away.
Wow. That's to be the first car one lap down. Kenseth taking over 13th position there.
Jimmy Johnson trying to drive on the inside of Mark Martin. He does.
Yeah, he can't afford right now to get cars that are lapped down.
And he can't waste any time. So, being stalked by Kevin Harvick. Jimmy Johnson now separated from them by 9/10 of a second after just the one lap of messing around with the lap cars. Both of these cars out in front you're looking at, the Newman car and the Harvick car, pitted with 69 laps to go, did not stop when the other front runners did at 58 to go. Jimmy Johnson stopping at 58 to go. So he's got fresher tires, but not by much.
Marginal. All right, Tony's got to run. Third spot at stake.
Now, keep it down on the bottom, getting off 4.
He could keep it on the bottom, but he needed more.
Yeah, he needed it more. A little bit of an advantage in. Usually the higher line, obviously coming off the corner, you're going to have a little bit more speed. Might do a slide job here.
He's trying to do a slide job.
Whoa. It's the race for position while Ryan Newman remains comfortably in front of Kevin Harvick by 0.7 of a second at this point. Newman, a multiple winner already in 2003. Victories at the Texas Motor Speedway in Dover, but he's also had his problems.
29 car is slow.
Out of gas?
Is he out of fuel? Sure looks like it.
Out of fuel.
Oh, boy. Well, that's just
not... blow up or you're out of gas, Tim? Out of gas.
And you know he's run out of gas. Once he passed pit entrance. What is going on, Marty?
Oh, you heard the conversation between Todd Berrier and Kevin Hamlin. They are indeed out of fuel. They were positive they could make it all the way. They made a fuel run in happy hour yesterday, and they calculated it at lap 198. They could make it all the way under green flag. We've been had caution laps since then. I even asked Todd a moment ago, are you worried about anything? He said, no, we'll be fine. We just won't catch Ryan Newman, but they are indeed out of fuel. Big surprise to these guys.
So he stopped the same lap as Ryan Newman.
That's what I was thinking. So all of a sudden, Matt Boland has to be a little bit nervous in that 12 car.
Coming to the white flag for Ryan Newman. Is he going to have enough fuel to make it around to the checkers? This could be a little bit of a tense last lap for the 12 car. White flag is up. Final lap. Mile and a half to go to his third win of 2003. Ryan Newman finished 5th here a year ago despite having a right front tire go down on him with just 28 laps left. He's got 4 top 5 finishes in the last 6 races this season. And if the fuel holds up, he's going to get his third win of 2003.
He can coast from there, I believe, and win.
Checkered flag is up. Ryan Newman wins the Tropicana 400 2003. The fuel held up. He stopped with what? Where's my number? I lost mine. There it is. 69 laps to go. The same lap as Kevin Harvick. The 12 car made it. 29 didn't. It is Ryan Newman picking up yet another win in 2003. His third win of the season, tying him with Kurt Busch for most in the league.
And all the top 10 cars on the lead lap finishing 267 laps. And also Bill Elliott completes 267 laps. Matt Kenseth, the first car 1 lap down.
But again, as Matt just said, a decent day in the championship for him because he really didn't lose anything. I mean, a bad day was 12th. That's okay. Drivers who struggled through the day, Dale Jarrett, vibration on his car at one point, spent a couple of laps on pit road trying to get it sorted out. 30th place result for DJ. And now the drivers involved in the accidents, including 2 of the top 4 in the championship coming in, Bobby Labonte and Dale Earnhardt Jr.
And Rusty Wallace changed the transmission and finished only 18 laps down.
Joe Nemechek out early. Derek Cope, the first out of the race, and that's how they ran in the Tropicana 400.
In Joliet, Illinois, and the celebration is on for South Bend, Indiana's Ryan Newman. His third win of 2003 and the 4th of his young career. And as you can tell, we're thrilled with this one. Congratulations, they're all great, but this one I know is special to you, being so close to South Bend, being here in Chicagoland.
Yeah, it's cool. I like the racetrack, and I really look forward to the race in the Alto Mobile One Dodge. I want to thank Mobile One, Sony, Altel for all their support, and you know, Matt and the guys did an awesome job. Track position was going to be important. The racetrack was really good today, and just want to thank everybody. Tropicana, great race, and Gatorade Victory Lane, that's awesome.
Were you convinced you had enough fuel to get there?
I was good on the fuel as I get orange pelted up. I was good on the fuel according to Matt. It's just a matter of holding Harvick off, because if he got in front of me, I felt that the cleaner was going to be the difference, but it turned out we hadn't run out of fuel to make a difference.
NASCAR's top 10 after today's race. Matt Kenseth's lead was 180 over Dale Jr. It's now 165 over Jeff Gordon. Dale Jr. and Bobby Labonte with a big hit today as a result of being taken out in those late accidents.